Afternoon. But I'm thankful that we have one of our regulars here at the table already. He is a public relations consultant and a social commentator, Mr. Peter Osangbi. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much, Patience. Good afternoon.
How were you able to make it?
Yeah, well, I thank God, like the average Nigerian would say, but it's good. It means I will have the coffee alone.
All of it. You can
it.
have all of it. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Cheers.
All right, we are expecting Mr. Ike Mokuhu to join us on the program if he can get out of the mad traffic out there. Already, another one of our panelists, Akogunga Nikayode Balogun, had to turn back home because he's been at the same spot for over 1 hour. I mean, I don't know what to do about traffic situation.
No, it's a irresponsible driving attitude of our people. Then coupled with the fact that those who are have the responsibility to control traffic have failed in that regard, and that's the problem. The Nigerian police has the traffic department. Initially they were overwhelmed, and that was why during the administration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he came up with this initiative of LASMA, and they've been doing an excellent job. But it appears these people have now relax really, because one of the things that most states have actually borrowed a leaf from Lagos by having their own traffic management theme. I think they must now go beyond what they are doing to ensure that traffic is easy to go by. But I think some of the challenges we are having is because of the, if you like, seeming massive reconstruction of roads going on,
like in almost every part of Lagos.
So
that's true.
It's affecting.
Very true. All right, we hope Mr. Ikem can join us on the program, but the show has to go on like the same. Remember, you can use the number 0802-836-8971 to contribute to the program via SMS only. And before we go into our topics of discussion this afternoon, we have to pay our last-minute respect to one of our own who passed on Saturday morning. Mr. Dixon Akinwumi is a renowned journalist, a brand analyst, a marketing and communications expert, one of our friends in the media, and he is one of the analysts on this program. He's been here like 3 or 4 times, if I recall correctly. He passed on, and that is his son, his first son. Both of them passed on Saturday morning. A very sad situation, if you ask me. Anyways, he was killed after fire gutted a shopping complex on Awolowo Way in Ikeja in the wee hours of Friday night into Saturday morning. We learned that he's supposed to take his son for an entrance examination somewhere in Ado-Ekiti. So he decided to pass the night in the office so that, it's closer to Ojota, where they're supposed to go from. And unfortunately, in the course of the night, at about 2 a.m., the fire broke out at the shopping complex. The fire did not actually get to his office, which I learned is on the 3rd floor, but the smoke
from
the fire, killed him and his son. It's a very sad. I've not been myself since I heard it on Saturday.
It is. We can only pray for the repose of his soul and to ask that God be merciful in judgment. Sad one. Very sad one. But again, it raises the question of how we respond to issues of fire disaster in this country. The awareness is not there. We must create this seeming awareness for fire and disaster management. Schooling people on evacuation methods, how to raise alarm, the kind of fire fighting equipment you should have, in your property. For instance, looking at the kind of fire extinguisher you can have. Some are for electrical, while some are for petrol fire and all that. Ordinarily, that should be in every building. That's one. Then 2, knowing the color codes as well. And then lastly, which for me is equally very important, is the fact that the emergency services, how we are able to communicate effectively. Now, hitherto, there was this legislation, which the Fire Protection Association of Nigeria had been fighting, a situation whereby it will be possible for every local government in Lagos to have a fire engine. Now, if that were to have been put in place, in fact, this came up during the Dana air crash of 2012.
2012.
Yeah, so if you had that, the challenge they had in putting out that fire wouldn't have been there. Meaning you would have had fire truck in Ikeja, in Fagba, and some other places in Agege. So if you had firefighting equipment, proper one, and then response would have been,
very faster,
and the smoke that which they inhaled wouldn't have been that much to have
taken their lives.
Anyway,
wow, it's a very sad one.
So.
My heart really breaks for the wife. There's a double tragedy for the poor woman.
Yeah,
we pray the good
at the moment she requires help.
Yes, a lot of
help.
support.
Because the truth of the matter is she requires a lot of counseling because this is the most traumatic moment for anybody in her shoes. Not only that you're losing your husband, which has made you a widow, and then your own child. So you're mourning two people at the same time.
This is a lot.
So it will be traumatic.
It's really a lot. Really. In fact, I'm short of words. But may God grant his family and the ones he left behind the fortitude to bear the loss.
Amen.
We'll miss you, Dixon. Oh, this is it. May your soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Wow. Okay. Back to the program for today. 0802-836-8971. That's the number to use. And our first story, federal government begs Nigerians in diaspora to return home. The federal government has appealed to Nigerians in the diaspora to return home and help build the Nigeria of everybody's dream, assuring them that things are changing in the country. Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, made the appeal at a series of town hall meetings with Nigerians in the United States. The minister said, please, we want you to return home. It is important. Not everybody will return home, but some can start coming home, and that's the essence. We're telling you that things are changing in Nigeria. This is the message. That's why I'm here. Onu appealed to the Nigerians abroad to make a patriotic decision about their country, saying, and I quote, we can't all be waiting until everything is okay in Nigeria before we can return home. Please, I beg you, let us not wait. All right, it goes on and on and on. Mr. Peter Osangbi, you and I live in Nigeria. Let's assume we're part of those in the diaspora, really. This sort of appeal, how does it sound?
Falsehood, that's the first description I can give to it. It's typical of the ruling party. I don't think that is the issue now, people returning from abroad. The issue, the challenge, and the problem that we in Nigeria are facing now is myriad. It is not to go and call people to come and return. Return back to what? It is an ideal thing to be part of the process of nation building of your country. Fair enough. But the environment we have found ourselves is not the most ideal. I was in diaspora myself. After my postgraduate in England, I decided to stay back to eke out a living. All right? And then Obasanjo came with this talk of Nigeria is getting better and all that. And we said, okay, fine, this is a new democracy, and let's give it a try. And then some of us came back. And to be honest, things were moving on, And I can remember within the first year when I came back, from the business that I was doing, I bought myself a brand new car, cash. Don't you get?
I do.
So the point I'm trying to make is that, then it was the vogue, you're returning back, to Nigeria, to be part of the whole system. But in the present circumstance we have found ourselves, it is not the best advice to give to anybody. Because people are leaving this country in drove. Why? Because of insecurity. How have you addressed that? I thought you should be telling them abroad how they have been able to address the pervasive insecurity in the country. That's number one. Number two, what are they coming back to come and do? To come and apply for a job? I didn't want to apply for any job. I wanted to be self-sustaining. I wanted to be self-employed, to go into business and succeed. And of course, during that time, you had little support from one or two banks who were ready to invest in your ideas and all that. Now, where are you going to start from here? The cost of living is very high. Just recently, somebody sent $5 as a support to somebody who is sick. No, serious. Somebody is sick. People were trying to raise money, and the fellow said, "Okay, I'll just do $5. That's all. Oh, at the airport. Oh, I wish I had money. Okay,
that's
just
all I have.
$5. How much is $5? That's about 3,000. That's about 4,000 naira. Yes. So you can see the value. You know, the level we have fallen into. So one, the insecurity in the country has not been addressed. The economic situation in the country is not any better, and there is no conscious effort. No conscious effort to make the situation better. So the people you are asking to come back are watching. They are on social media. They have family here. So there's communication as to, but no come back. Oh, yes. Sister, no come back. Oh, the country is not better.
They hear all the complaints.
They hear, because when you come back, the moment you arrive, friends and family, you know, approach you for support or for help. Is that what you're coming back to? So clearly, you don't want to come back because the situation is still same. It has not changed. All
right, but let me ask you a question, Mr. Sangbe. Not too long ago, Ngige said something about he's surprised that President Buhari is not being applauded, you know, for all the good works he's doing. And over time, we've also heard the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, talk so glowingly about, you know, all of the achievements of this administration. Yeah. And here we have Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu also saying that, you know, things are different, things have changed.
They are not different.
If the government of the day is doing so much like they claim to be,
why are we not seeing it?
Why are we not feeling the impact?
Yeah, because they are not doing anything. What these ministers are doing is just psychophancy. It's psychophancy, and these people are not serious. All that, you see, I told them from day one, the moment they came in, they got their strategy wrong. They were not able to move away from opposition party activism to now governance, that you are now in power. For 1-2 years, they kept regaling this country and people with, oh, if Buhari didn't take over, Nigeria would have collapsed. This previous administration did this. Previous administration didn't do that. And some of us were pissed off. Please now, campaigns are over. Move on, because
let's get the job done.
You have just 2-3 years to do anything, because the 4th year is campaign year. And that's where we are now. So rather than tell us, give us their scorecard. All right, if there was any. They are not giving us the scorecard. What they are telling us is that the country is better. No, yeah, hang on, it's better. Yeah, how? Tell us though. Has power improved? Has security, you know, improved? No. If you are traveling home, you are making plans for your security. There are so many things to be done. Recently, I saw on BBC, there were these, you know, Caucasians, particularly British. They were protesting in front of the Nigerian High Commission in London on the release of Leah
Sharibu. Yeah.
Leah Sharibu. If the country were to be so safe, and all, we shouldn't be doing that by now. So I thought they should have been telling us, on security, we were here before, now this is where we are. No, we haven't moved forward, we have rather moved backwards. So it is this is what puts me off. The deceit, the conscious effort to lie. And when you say you've done something, it should be glaring. People should see it. But in this case, we are not seeing it. So they are the ones telling people, you know, that these people have done this or these people have done. I tell you quickly, I'm not a fan of Asiwaju Tinubu, but I respect him. I respect him. See what Lagos have been able to do from his own time to Fashola, and even this fellow that we now have. You can see conscious effort to do something. So if Lagos is what they are using, well, to some extent, well, little effort is being made here and there. But go beyond Lagos. So this is Lagos state government doing a little. But go beyond Lagos, and you see that we're in trouble. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So put simply, nothing is on ground to justify or to corroborate what the ministers are saying, that Nigeria is now better, they should, you know, come back home. There's nothing on ground they should contradict that. Let us see the evidence. Let them show us what it is, and then we can applaud them and tell our kit and cane abroad to say, please come back. Nigeria is better.
It's now better. Okay. Anyways, the Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, he was in the U.S. to sensitize Nigerians in diaspora on the presidential executive order signed by President Muhammadu Buhari in February to improve local content in public procurement with science, engineering, and technology components. Anyways, the order is expected to promote the application of science, technology, and innovation towards achieving Nigeria's development goals across all sectors of our economy. And of course, according to the order, preference is to be given to Nigerian companies and firms in terms of awarding of contracts and all of that. But here we are, trying to leverage on science and technology and innovation. That calls to mind the quality of education we have here in
capacity
in the first place. How do we begin to brag, about how prepared we are to be innovative as a country when the basic, which is elementary education, first of all, is not good enough in Nigeria?
Exactly, and that's where government, unfortunately, we keep calling government, but that's the way it is, because if government shows the way, people in the private sector can actually key in. We do not have the capacity. We've been going on and on about this, what's it called, these looking in words, by giving contracts to people who are indigenous firms and all that. Yeah, but do they have the capacity though? What they are doing, which they wouldn't tell you, is that these indigenous firms get the job and they outsource it to the foreign firms. All they just want is to be the middleman and then collect the money. They wouldn't tell you. The way forward is to build capacity, and in building capacity, you must fund, education. You must fund the federal universities of technology. You have the one in Akure. Find out from the Minister of Science and Technology what his ministry has done in that university to encourage them. The same thing with Federal University of Technology, Owerri. So you must invest in these universities to be able to help in building capacity that will prepare us for tomorrow.
Of course. That's right. Okay. All right. Thank you, Nwa from Abuja. I've read your message. Thank you for that. Thank you for the concern you've shown so far. All right. Good afternoon. Omokaro by name. Nigerians in the diaspora, they should return back home to do what? When there is no job opportunity in Nigeria. There are lots of graduates in Nigeria. There is no job. I'll advise the federal government to put things in order. Presently, no jobs in Nigeria. It's just exactly what you said. Now you're calling people to come back home. First off, let us, of course, bring to the fore the fact that Nigerians who are living abroad, would rather be here in Nigeria if our economy was just good enough, because they are taking up jobs outside of the country that, even us here, we have issues with, like imagine telling me to go wash plates in a restaurant, but you willingly do it abroad because you are paid for the job you do and all of that. So let's create jobs. The other day, when Theresa May, called attention to the fact that Nigeria is fast becoming, a country with the poorest people and all of that, we talked about providing 50,000 jobs per day for us to be able to meet up in 2035 and all. Where are the jobs?
The jobs are not there. And I have a friend who is a professor of medicine in the US, and he came to Nigeria. He was formerly with Luth. He came to Nigeria about 2 years ago, and then I went to pick him up from there, and I noticed that he was sad. I said, what is the problem? Thinking it is the issue of maybe people pressure or people asking him for money. He says, no, that what has worried him is that we have not changed as a people. That was a department where he was over 7 years ago before he went abroad. Nothing has changed in that department. And if you go to Lut, my younger sister was there, she died there, and when I went there, I was like, Jesus Christ, we don't have a hospital. So what if you are asking this professor of medicine to return to Nigeria, to come and do what? To return to what? So the environment has not changed. The persons have not changed. The leadership has not changed. The attitude is still the same. So what we are saying in a nutshell is that instead of your song of, return back and all that, return to the country and all that, please now just go ahead and make the effort. There's nobody calling us from abroad to say, come and join us. Government in Switzerland or in England or France, they are not asking you to come. Why? Because you want to go, because you have a better condition out there. So by the time the circumstances change in Nigeria, you wouldn't beg them to come back. They will naturally. Like I said, in 2006 when I returned, I didn't ask. When I finished my MBA in 2001, I didn't need anybody to ask me to come back. I said, no, I wasn't going to come back. Let me stay and eke out a living. So between 2001 and 2006, I was in England. But by 2006, I knew I had to come back because I noticed that things had changed and all that. And I came back on my own volition. And people were like, oh, man, you went back? Maybe we should start planning. And a couple of us came back. Now, today, anybody you are asking to come back, you must be ready to provide for the person what to do.
That's right. All right.
And as an employer of labor,
yeah.
I know if I put out an ad there, that I require a staff.
Just one.
Just one. Within 48 hours of putting out that ad, whether it's in the newspaper and all that, the deluge of application. In fact, you may just want to shut down your email to say, I think I've had enough. Deluge of applications, you'll be overwhelmed.
I get that. All right, another message just came in. This one says, come on Ghana, yet my people don't want me to come home because I'm doing very well in Ghana than Nigeria.
Oh, dear.
All right. Okay, Alexander the Great, thank you so much for your message. Appreciate. All right, let's move on to the second topic.